Shalom Akim, this is Kalamad of GMS Dallas. Want to give all praise and honor to the Most High and His Son Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders. Honors to you brothers out there in the camp, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I've already done a video of what you see here on the screen. Alright, my response to them saying GMS pedophile versus the Bible. But it's funny because the more and more I watch this video that they put up, them being this Iuic camp in Atlanta, the more I watch this video, the more I think to myself, man, Nate, you really should have set somebody up that had a little more sense to preach your agenda. Alright, not because you ain't preaching the Bible, they're just preaching your agenda. You should have set somebody up that was a little more bright than this clown you see on screen. Because I'm going to play this one little excerpt from this video, and then what we're going to do is follow his logic and to see if his logic makes sense according to scripture. Alright, it's going to be a quick video, so just pay attention, and we're going to go through a few scriptures, meanings of words, and that'll be that.
Up then. Why you lined up then? You lined up. You lined up. You going simple, so let me go simple.
Now what happened is they pointed out the fact that the brother doesn't have fringes on. Alright, so he came right back and said, well, why do you have your beards lined up?
Let's read the Bible. You lined up. Let's read the Bible. Don't come with Ezekiel 5, because that don't mean that. Let's read the Bible. What?
Now the assumption was, there's this clown again right here with this goddamn demonistic ass smile. Alright, but the assumption was he was going to go to Ezekiel 5, okay, but he didn't, although they use Ezekiel 5 as well as Comfy and them have in the past to justify trimming or lining up, I should say, their beard. Okay, but let's follow logic. The first part.
Justify your Bible. Why line up? Let's see. Let's see. Now why keep calling Ezekiel 5? He been the main one script. I know what you gonna call.
2 Samuel.
Come on.
Chapter 19.
I find it amazing how you got these niggas, they're teaching about you can sleep with a white woman, you can rape young girls, you can rape women,
they're not teaching
about no fringes, which is a simple law.
Right. Let's go.
They're not teaching about that.
Go to Judges.
I forgot. They're also teaching the name, brother. The name.
Yes.
You got to know the name, brother.
Yes.
Let me get this straight.
Yes.
If Christ come today, I keep the law, you're not keeping the law, but you know the name, you're going to get it.
What law you keeping? You keeping some laws.
Please.
You taping up your beard.
Everywhere. It's like a fog that covers the whole ground. That shit is all over, everywhere.
Here they are trying to make Elder Rakal look bad.
The so-called white.
Now I'll let this play through the first time to be fair. I want to get to the point, so I'm going to skip through. Alright.
She keep calling me. She had some niggas sleeping at her house the other night, and she at my house leaving candy bars on my porch.
Please.
You taping up your beard, bro.
2 Samuel chapter 19, verse 24.
So you ain't keeping no law.
Now keep in mind, they justify lining up your beard, as the brother that came up and confronted him is pointing out. Keep that in mind, and then listen to what they're about to read.
Hey, I'm telling you, shut up. If y'all niggas don't repent, you're gonna die in your sin.
You gonna
take it up? Repent, bro. You gonna repent? Hey, guess what? Tell that nigga to have the same thing. All these niggas from GMS, you gonna do the same thing. If they don't repent, God is gonna kill them one by one.
Lining up your beard.
After Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king,
Bring it out.
and had neither dressed his feet nor trimmed his beard.
Now, wait a minute. It could just be me that's tripping and just out of my damn mind. But if you justify with the scriptures saying that you can line up your beard, why would you go to a scripture that spoke of Mephibosheth saying that he neither dressed his feet nor trimmed his beard? I mean, somebody please help me out here. I mean, I obviously must just not see this. I guess I was just blinded to the ways of Iuic. That makes no sense as to why you brought up that scripture. That literally contradicts what this clown, this Haitian Tackleberry, is saying.
Trim.
Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king and had neither dressed his feet.
Oh, he's got shades on.
Nor trimmed his beard.
Leviticus 19:27.
Now, wait a minute. Again, how can you use a scripture that spoke of a man who didn't trim, fashion, shape up, do anything to his beard, yet you're justifying lining up your beard according to scripture? That's a complete contradiction. That makes 0 sense. Alright? 0 sense. And then the brother, he's about to listen, he's about to go into Leviticus.
Ye shall not round the corners of your head, neither shalt thou mar the corner of your beard. Huh?
You see how simple you are?
Why does this nigga keep looking back like that? Nigga, whole post. Why the fuck do you keep looking back? You could get, somebody could have snuck you. Y'all really think y'all, and look at the look he's got on his face. Come on.
You see how simple you are? You don't have no French on, but you think you're teaching about
But your
a
shit
brother
lined
that
up.
be in his face.
Your shit
That's
lined up.
French.
Your
Like I said, you can't use a scripture. You can't use that scripture to justify you trimming or lining up your beard when it says that a man didn't do that. Come on. And I'm so tired every time I pause and see this nigga right here smiling. Now, let's go and read the scripture. It says here, 2 Samuel, we already heard it twice, but I'm going to read it again. 2 Samuel 19:24. And Mephibosheth the son of Saul came down to meet the king, and had neither dressed his feet, nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes from the day the king departed until the day that he came in peace. Alright? Because Mephibosheth, it says he was one of the sons of Saul. Now, Saul was wicked, but David, knowing he was wicked, knew that he was also set up by the Lord Yahweh Shemiah Shai at that time. So he wasn't gonna, when you read the accounts in Samuel, he even said he's not gonna move against Saul. Alright? David didn't go to try, he had plenty of opportunity. He had like 3 different opportunities, if I'm not mistaken, to take Saul out, and he didn't. Okay? So in order to show peace to that family, he invited Mephibosheth, who was lame, he was crippled, he couldn't walk, to come live in their house. Alright? But he said until that time came, until David came back, he didn't trim his beard. He didn't do anything to his beard. Alright? And brothers already went into this, but let's just go into it again for edification. That word there for trim is asa. Alright? And it means to do, to fashion, to accomplish, to make, to do, work, make, produce. Alright? This is the key word right here. To fashion. Meaning he just let himself, he just didn't care. Alright? He pretty much kind of put himself in a state of mourning. It was like, look, I'm just gonna be what you guys would call a bummelite until I see the king again. Alright? And David had mercy on him, because David didn't have no problem with Mephibosheth. Alright? So now that we've gone through that, and questioning why the hell they use that scripture to justify them lining up their beard, let's go to Ezekiel, the 5th chapter. Alright? Because this is another scripture they use to justify them trimming their beard, which when you break this down, this has nothing to do with the Lord saying you can line up your beard. Alright? I said trim just a second ago, I meant line up. Alright? It says Ezekiel 5:1, it says, And thou, son of man, take thee a sharp knife, take thee a barber's razor, and cause it to pass upon thy head, upon thy beard, and take thee the balances to weigh and divide the hair. And thou shalt burn with fire the 3rd part in the midst of the city, when the days of the siege are fulfilled. Now, what's that first part talking about? Well, the Elder Tahar just broke it down. Alright? What's one example of that? When you go back to the time during the siege of 70 AD, alright, you had many of the Israelites who were stuck in the city. Alright? They were stuck in the city during a siege, and they were forced to cannibalism, eating leather belts, eating grass, eating whatever they could, because the Romans had the place totally blocked down. Nothing in, nothing out. Alright? It says here, And thou shalt take a 3rd part, and smite it with a knife, Alright, what's that talking about? Oh, Salakia. And thou shalt take a third part and smite it with a knife, and a third part, and thou shalt scatter them in the wind, and I will draw out the sword after them. Alright, what's that talking about when it says I will take the third part and scatter it with a knife? That means some were going to die by the sword. Alright? After all, was not Esau, the so-called white man, blessed with the power of the sword? That was his blessing. Okay? And it says here, and the third part thou shalt scatter to the wind, and scatter in the wind, and I will draw out the sword after them. Meaning Israel was going to be scattered, alright, throughout the whole world. Alright? Throughout all nations, and upon those nations we would have no rest, as it says in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Alright? That's what this whole scripture is talking about. Alright? And if you just simply keep reading, as we jump down to the 5th and 6th verse, it says, thus saith the Lord power, this is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her, and she hath changed my judgments into wickedness more than the nations, and my statutes than the countries that are round about her, for they have refused my judgments and my statutes, and have not walked in them. So this is a prophecy referring to the nation of Israel. This has in no way, shape, or form is telling us, commanding us that we should line up our beards. Alright? But let's go ahead and follow the logic of this clown right here, the Haitian Tackleberry. Let's go ahead and follow his logic. Let's say, for the sake of the argument, that does mean that Ezekiel 5 does mean you can line your beard up. Alright? And you guys have no problem with lining your beard up. Okay? Well, I would assume that you would have no problem with grown men, walking around butt naked. Why do I say that? What the hell did he just say? Well, let's go to Isaiah, the 20th chapter. It's a very short chapter. Let's give it a read right here. It says here, in the year, Isaiah 20 verse 1, in the year that Tartan came unto Ashdod, when Sargon the king of Israel sent him and fought against Ashdod and took it, at the same time spake the Lord by Isaiah the son of Amos, saying, go and loose thy sackcloth from off thy loins, and put off thy shoe from thy foot. And he did so, walking naked and barefoot. So he had Isaiah walking around naked. Alright? So if we were to take this same scripture and use the same logic that they apply Ezekiel 5 to here, that means we can walk around with no damn clothes on. You shouldn't have no issue with that. CNL has no issue with this in Ezekiel 5, right? I mean, I'm just going by your logic. By your logic, that makes sense. So, is that true? According to this scripture, according to your logic, should we walk around naked and barefoot? Butt naked. Alright? I want to answer to that question. Alright? Verse 3, and the Lord said, like as my servant Isaiah hath walked naked and barefoot 3 years for a sign and a wonder upon Egypt and upon Ethiopia. So he did it for a sign and a wonder. Alright? This isn't a law saying that we are to walk around, but the scripture, the law clearly says, just like the law says, you shall not mar round the corners of your head, nor mar the corners of thy beard. Alright? Scripture says, thou shalt not look upon another man's nakedness. So come on. I mean, come on. You guys are clowns. Alright? Your logic doesn't follow. It doesn't make sense. And like I said, Nate, you really should have got somebody that was brighter to preach your doctrine, because he did a horrible job. I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't see that guy out there anymore. Alright? It says verse 24, so the king of this damn child predator, what y'all call us. Look at this guy. Verse 12, Isaiah 20:4. So the king of Assyria led the Egyptians prisoners and the Ethiopians captives, and the young and old naked and barefoot, even with their buttocks uncovered, to the shame of Egypt. So it was a prophecy of what would happen. That's what all this was right here in Isaiah. Okay? But like I said, applying your logic that you use on Ezekiel, so would you have a problem with any men in your camp or any men period walking around butt naked? Alright? I mean, the Lord put the Spirit on Isaiah to do this for a sign, and I wouldn't be surprised. What if a grown ass man walk up with no damn drawers on and confront you with this scripture? All right. So come on, miss me with that. I don't care how it sounds when you hear it. I just did the video. You can scoff all day, but what do the scriptures say? This is purely the scriptures. All right. So with that, Lord willing, to you brothers is edifying, and that's my question I pose to you, you IUIC clowns and you other scoffers. To the next video, Shalom.